Hello.
Hello, everybody.
We are here. Hopefully everyone can hear us and see us. And we tried to get the setup a bit, or I've tried to get the setup a little bit better. Just trying to get myself in Zoom, so I'm in focus.
It's hard.
It is very hard. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully I'm in ultra focus mode now. I don't know if you've noticed, Rob, when with the cameras, because we have the same camera, obviously, it shows you the on the little screen you're using. It shows you the like the area which it's focused in on. It sort of like puts a blue line around it, which is quite handy.
Yes, yeah, kind of like almost like a haze. Mine isn't quite in focus.
Who have we got on? We got Matt on. Hello, Matt. This setup is much cleaner. We do like clean. We've got dead air. Novus the same thing. Yeah, hopefully. There we go.
On my focusing, I'm in focus now. Probably find this isn't at all comfortable to paint it. I have to refocus it again in a second.
Yeah, I'm trying to find an angle where I can paint, but I can also show where I'm in focus. But hopefully this is about, you know.
I've lowered it now. I made it less.
How are you, Matt? How are you doing today? Do we have anybody else joining us at the minute? We've got 4 people watching. Hello. Well, one of them's going to be you, isn't it?
One, yeah.
Disgraceful. I've got everything in the way. I've got all my microphone and my mouse. Everyone can see the mouse in the background. I have some new paints. Oh, I have some new paints. Oh, I know what I'm going to do.
Some new paints.
I've got some new paints. I know what I'm going to do.
Got my wet palette out.
Ooh.
So I'm using it. It's a raspberry. Yeah.
I've got my new stuff. Got one of these. Rathbone. Spry pint. I've got something else. Can't really show you, but it's them. Shh, you didn't see them. No one cares. No one's watching.
That's what they want you to think.
Games Workshop are always watching. But I've got some paints. I've got some new paints here.
Yeah.
And these are my new paints. I've got Flesh Terror. I've got Militarum Green. These are all for help painting my lizards. I've got Space Wolf Grey, and I've got Plague Bearer Flesh. This is what I'm going to use now, because I was painting the Auric, but I've gone off him already. I'm going to paint.
Actually see what you're painting, because I've got the chat over the top of it.
I'm going to be painting this boy. Good old Golgok. My main man Golgok.
Okay.
He did me proud in the last AOS tourney, so I feel like he deserves painting now. In fact, they all did me proud, because you know I'm through to the final. Whee!
Through to the final. The Golgok is heavy lifted.
He's a solid boy, is Golgok. I think he died. I mean, he dies quite often, I think, but at the same time, he's drawing attention, which is good. And in one of the games, I was playing against somebody, and they would do a wound to him, and I put an upgrade on to give him a wound, and then they did another wound to him, and I gave him another upgrade to give him another wound. So they kept hitting him, but nothing was happening basically.
They're very beefy, those guys, but
They are beefy boys.
very hard to. I hate having to be in a position where you have to try and kill them.
Yeah. I think the only real way to sort of take on these guys is to just try and, if you can, almost just ignore them.
Yeah, try and play around.
Which, if you're playing objectives and they're standing on the objectives, can be very hard to achieve.
Yeah, especially in Vanguard.
Yeah.
Which is perhaps where where they come into their strengths, because you can't manipulate. There's not very many. There is now one card to manipulate off. Isn't there? The new wanky device.
But that's a Lizardman specific one, I think.
Oh, is it? Okay. Oh,
I think so.
Universal.
So at the minute, I'm trying to paint.
It is obviously a. Yeah, it might well be, because that's obviously
A wanky device.
a fake Aztec word.
Yeah. Is it? Oh, well, I don't know how fake it is. I'm sure wanky's fairly fake.
I've changed my angle slightly, so hopefully I won't be painting last week when I was painting Zarshia, I was putting the paint on, but the way I held the model, she was sort of turned, so I was painting. You couldn't see where I was actually painting. You could see where I wasn't.
It's always a bit annoying when you find you're doing that, and anybody watching this either live now or afterwards, especially live right now, if we do go out of focus so you can't see what we're doing, do shout, and we'll try and keep an eye on it.
Shout, especially you, Matt, if you're in work.
Yeah. If you start sitting there going, "You're out of focus, you fucking idiots," then you know.
Pete's shot isn't the same as my shot on the camera. I'm probably so because the way you've arranged it. So what looks like is I'm on the screen, actually not on the screen. So I'm painting Billboard today from Journeys in Middle Earth.
Ooh. Very eclectic with your painting.
Yeah, well, I've had these on my paint table for quite a long time, and I've got 2 left. I've got Beravor, who's a made-up character from the for the game.
Aren't they all made up?
Well, technically yes. You know what I mean. He's a newly made up character then, is that better? newly invented. Does not feature anywhere in the original books.
Yeah.
Is that better now, Mr. Pedant?
Yes, thank you very much. Good. Mr. Brooks.
And yeah, so I thought actually I should finish these because as people testify, I'm not a very good completer finisher.
You're definitely the ideas man.
And so I thought, well, I'll actually finish these, and I'm actually kind of between projects, as it were, because I'm waiting for my lizards to arrive.
Ooh.
So I've also got Red Skull here.
We're definitely planning next week to do a bit of a lizardathon and paint up, because next week is a bank holiday Friday, but we're both hoping to still be able to be online.
Yes.
And we're definitely hoping to make it a bit more of a lizardathon, and maybe try and get some paint on some lizards.
It's quite hard to say lizardathon.
Lizardathon. So if you are watching this after the fact, but it's not the Good Friday in the UK, or if it's not the Friday the 2nd, wherever you might be, do come along and join us if you've got your lizards. Get your lizards out.
Yes. Yeah, so there could be more people off, I suppose. I hadn't thought about that.
We might even be able to maybe stretch it more than an hour, depending on how things go. Obviously, it's a bit hard to right now because I'm in my lunch break at work.
Yeah.
Well, at work is a strong word. I'm at home, but I'm working.
Yeah, although we have an addy problem next week. We will have ankle biters running out. Not that they really bite ankles now, but
mine do, but they're a bit feral.
The kids are around, which makes it trickier to do. But so definitely get an hour in. They'll start chewing the furniture. We started earlier, it might be all right.
We might be able to. Might be able to start a little bit earlier. I have my vaccination next Friday as well.
Will you? Okay, before or after?
After.
Okay.
Wolfman Gaz is here. Hello, Wolfman Gaz.
Hey, Wolfman Gaz.
Anybody who does put a comment in there and then doesn't get a response immediately, apologies, basically.
Rubbish. I've realised this Billboard I'm painting, I haven't shaded part of it. So I'm trying to highlight it, and there's nothing to highlight.
One of the things I do like about this is just you can slap. I'm going like all contrast. I can't be bothered to do too much with these, but I do love the fact that with contrast paints they do so much on their own. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, I must confess I've gone off contrast.
Have you?
Yeah.
You've moved on. You're on to the next level.
Well, yeah. I mean, I suppose what I'm painting at the moment, I don't want painted quickly. I suppose that's really, and I think that's obviously where they excel.
Yeah.
I'm trying. So the hero, I painted all of the Journeys in Middle Earth kind of plebs, for want of a better word.
Yeah.
In contrast, but the heroes I'm trying to be a little bit more betterer.
More betterist.
Yeah. So I haven't. So I'm using full paint, and I find I do like the contrast for speed. But then that said, I don't know whether it was the model or the paints, but by the time I painted all of the remaining Journeys in Middle Earth models, I was utterly sick of contrast paints.
Maybe it was maybe it was just
part of the models, the detail wasn't really defined that well. And quite often, I just kind of slap a load of paint over it and just go, well, that's it. Just couldn't quite work out which bits are meant to be leather, which bits are meant to be armour.
GW models do make it nicer in that they just have so much detail on. You can just put a little bit of contrast on it and it just explodes with detail.
Yeah, I'm off camera slightly. So we've got a bit of all going on. We're using my green. Yeah.
I'm just looking up a picture of Golgok because I'm trying to work out if some of his legs is skin or if it's all like cloth and stuff like that. But now, of course, I'm looking at loads of pictures of these insanely beautiful models and I want to throw mine in the bin already. It's hard to tell if it's skin or if it's not. In fact, some places people appear to have painted like skin, in other places people appear to have painted it as like cloth and stuff. So it's doubly hard. I think that's the thing with Nurgle, though. It's like,
do what you like.
Yeah. I'm tempted to go.
That's pretty much beautiful segue there, Pete, because that's pretty much exactly the problem I have with particularly some of the orcs. Sorry, I'm calling them orcs. The orcs from the Journeys of Middle Earth set. I couldn't work out which bits were meant to be armour and which bits were meant to be leather and straps and things. So I just, at the end, I just slapped on a load of contrast paint. I do find the browns are particularly effective. You slap them on and they're like, oh, well, that looks half decent.
It's definitely there are some definite benefits when there's a higher detail model. I did mean to take my Golgok apart and paint bits separately. Not that I normally do, like disassembly and paint them in parts, but I was going to, just because these models are so insanely tricky to get to some of the points underneath them and stuff.
I find the contrast paint a little harder to control, so then I end up with paint in the wrong place, and then they're not very easy to overpaint.
No, there is definitely a key to the order you go with on these as well. Like starting off with the lighter colours, and then sometimes you can overpaint with the darker colours.
Yes, so I'm listening. It sounds like one of my neighbours just taking out the trumpet or something.
It sounds like what?
One of my neighbours just taking out the trumpet or something.
We just had beans recently. Right, trying to find.
Like like Dukes of Hazzard, an air horn. I think it was a trumpet.
Or like a kind of thing.
That's what I was expecting it to do. You don't hear those nowadays. I think they're not legal anymore, are they?
I don't even know.
Or maybe it's just because we don't live in the 80s anymore.
It could. That's probably a large part of it. Well, it depends on where you live. Some places are permanently sort of buried in the 80s, I think.
Okay. Right, that town in Stranger Things.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I see what they've done now. Oh, it all makes sense.
You all right?
It's when you have those sort of moments of lucidity when you've been watching something for ages and then you suddenly get what it's all about. Mind you, saying that, I haven't watched anything for ages. I haven't watched any TV or anything.
Yeah.
No. I mean, most of the time, if I have any time spare, I'm editing videos.
Oh, channeling.
I'm channeling, yes.
Having finished Call My Agent, which is set in Paris, we've now moved to Deutschland 83, which is the first one in the Deutschland series, which is pretty good, actually. It's on Channel 4, one of the Channel 4 box sets.
All right.
And that's set in East and West Germany during the height of the Cold War.
All right, any good?
It's pretty cool, yeah, pretty cool. We haven't watched that many of them. And it's it's kind of like a spy thing, really.
All right. My wife's quite irritated because she wanted to watch. There's been a few sort of like, she likes her crime dramas and stuff like that, and she's watched all of the US stuff, whether it's trash or not, but she's watched like all the different US things, and then she tried to move on to some of the more European sort of stuff. But the problem with a lot of it is a lot of it has just all subtitles, which obviously her being registered blind is quite tricky for her to see. So she can't then. It really breaks the immersion if you have to then have either keep pausing it to read what somebody just said, especially if it's like in the middle of a chase scene or something like that, or have somebody sit there reading it all out for you, especially when said person, i.e. me, really doesn't want to.
No, yeah, well, it's really hard as well. You completely break the thread. I never thought about that before. That's a real shame.
Because there's lots of different shows. There was The Bridge or something like that.
Yeah, that was really good.
But that's got, I'm guessing, tons of subtitles as well.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh.
Do they not have kind of
like a dubbed version?
Yeah, I know they're not so good, but do they not? Can you not?
I don't think they do. And she had the problem as well that, because I think a lot of these things, part of the draw of them is, they're so authentic because they all speak obviously the native languages. It's not just been butchered by Americans and make them all speak American, even though they're in whichever country they're in that's not American. But it's like, that's great until you realise that, if you don't speak that language and you can't read the text, then you're a bit stuffed.
Yeah.
Anyway, such is life.
Never really thought about that before. That was one of those things. Classic ableist, not really thinking.
You disgust me, you ableist, you. Shut my window. Somebody decided to start streaming outside. Inconsiderate bastards. Just having a bit of a random minute here with this.
If it isn't a work stripping it, so I don't do it.
Yeah. We were talking about. Sorry?
Painting Johnny Milan is in the house.
Hello.
Another Lycans who got stormed from the X-Men. Hello, Johnny. How long before the Death Toll arrives?
It's already chilling on the side, ready to go. Anybody who's not sure what we're talking about here, Johnny Milan is not afraid to detol a paint job and start all over.
I talked about that last week on my solo run. I take my hat off to him. Once I put paint on, that's pretty much, unless it's a major catastrophe.
It ain't coming off again. I'm 100% the same. I don't like wasting time.
Base is here, so I've put some sand on. I do my usual thing of painting things over a long period of time. Completely forgot what basing recipe I usually use. All the bases are slightly different. Not necessarily a bad thing, but doesn't mean it's not very uniform. The only thing I am certain of is that this isn't the paint I normally use, but I just cannot remember which one I do normally use. I'm going with it.
Just crash on as is and see where it ends up.
It might just be a different part of the forest.
Exactly.
Off camera.
I've always wondered, because all of the Underworld models, they all have moulded bases, which is great.
Yeah.
But the problem is you have like Magor's Fiends, where it's all cracked and lava-y and skulls and everything. And then you've got Garrick's, and it's all like wastelandish and covered in skulls. And then you've got
Armies is like a little garden.
Yeah.
Vegetation, and then you've got the Ravagers got this kind of blasted temple look, because they've got inlaid bits of chaos symbol.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So yeah, it is slightly incongruous.
So you like it kind of just breaks the immersion a little bit, and we used to do these on a Tuesday night. We used to have our unpopular opinion on Tuesday nights. Right. I'm going to stick an unpopular opinion in for our Friday session instead. I quite like see-through bases.
Ooh, that is unpopular.
I know some people absolutely hate and abhor them, but I can see the double benefit of reduced hassle for painting, and it fits in with whatever tabletop you're playing on.
That's controversial, Pete.
I can feel our viewer count dropping as I say it.
hope it doesn't drop. It's currently at 6.
Hey! How many people out there are painting whilst they watch? I know that Johnny Milan says he is. All tactical rocks on see-through bases. Well, that's another thing that bugs me. I can't stand models that are modelled onto scenery.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant Matt.
Oh.
I said, I don't think Matt will because he's at work anyway. That's another thing that bugs me.
Matt being at work gets right on my tits. No, sorry.
Sorry, moulded scenery?
Yeah, moulded scenery on bases that people are perched on top of or swinging off of or jumping over or whatever.
Rock TM?
Yeah, tactical rock TM. I don't...
See-through bases, Wolfman Gas has just said. He's eating at work, so he's not painting.
I will let you off.
Yeah, that's it. See, I'm not a fan of tactical rocks, I have to say. Well, I don't mind the odd bit, but it seems to be now that's the way everything has to be. If you're heroic or important, you have to be jumping off a bit of masonry.
Just imagine like a whole sketch around, like a superhero coming home from work. But instead of coming in through the front door, he sort of like comes smashing through the ceiling, and the wife's like, "For the love of God! God, you just used the front door."
When there's a heroic thing to do, you have to go and find a piece of rubbish or something, go stand in it, and then jump off before you can go to answer the call.
Exactly. Just imagine that whilst the long-suffering spouse is like, "I know that you're Thor. I know that you are the god of thunder, but do you have to smash the ceiling every time you come in from sweeping up the leaves?" We watched Ragnarok a few weekends ago, actually, with the kids, and I really enjoyed that. The kids really enjoyed it too.
It's one of the best ones, I think.
I'm sure there's a lot of purists out there who probably hated it for whatever reasons, because I get that impression that it's probably a bit divisive. I mean, I might be completely wrong, but I get the feeling it might be a bit divisive. But
I don't know. I believe it's one of the best rated.
That's good. It deserves to be.
Yeah.
Although there were a few questionable points because we were watching it obviously with both our kids, and one's 8. So there's the bit right near the beginning where spoilers for anyone who doesn't want to hear this. Right at the start where Thor turns up and Odin is sort of sitting in the chair watching the play, and he sort of goes, "Oh shit," and then you're immediately like, okay.
Yeah, that's the problem. I find I haven't watched it with the kids, but Guardians of the Galaxy, there's quite a lot. The bit where he has the kind of whistly thing that makes the his weapon that just goes through people and kills them all.
Yeah,
I find that far too gratuitous to watch it with the kids.
See, I didn't mind that so much, oddly.
So I haven't watched it with him.
I haven't watched that one with the youngest. Only my eldest has watched that one. He's 12,
right, okay.
So.
Yeah, I'm going to say I think my 12-year-old will be alright, but my 8-year-old, I think.
Yeah.
I found that just a bit compared with the rest of the tone of the film. Even when I watched it, I thought it was a bit unnecessary. It didn't need to be that extreme.
I guess they were like, "We've got to show this off because it'll be cool." Because most people who seem to be involved in films these days appear to be, like us, and just doing stuff that's cool, which I don't mind really in some respects.
Yeah, you see that? I've just realised I've just painted Berevor's ears yellow rather than.
Oops.
Because she's got little ears sticking out of the hair, but they're not very clear until you've just painted over them. You think, oh, that's not what I wanted to do.
Oops.
Never mind. I haven't highlighted the skin yet. Hopefully I can remedy the problem. So we've got Carl Beachy's in. He's painted his Thundrix.
Ooh. Haven't seen his Thundrix for a long time.
Too long, he says. Which half? Top or bottom?
Ooh, painting Thundrix bottom. Desperately trying to not waste time painting stuff that I don't see when it's on the table, but at the same time very aware that I'm also doing exactly that. I desperately need to move my camera a bit so it's behind me a bit more so that people can see what I'm painting a little bit more than how they currently are, but I shall have a play around with that later on, I think.
I can't keep it. It's too much pale colour.
Yes, Wolfman goes. It's Cursed City with the tactical lampposts. With the weird vampire. Sorry?
I was going to say, oh yeah, well, Matt talked about the Spider-Man dialing up to 11 on the tactical rocks. Because I don't know if you've seen the new American Spider-Man model from Marvel quite supposed
I haven't, no.
Got a ridiculous number of tactical rocks. It feels like, for me, it's a way of inflating the price.
I guess when you've got really big, impressive models, then the other ones, if you don't do something with them, they're going to look really unimpressive, basically. So you've got to stick them on a tactical rock to make them look a bit more, imposing.
Yeah, I guess so. And some of the night model ones are hilarious. I mean, there's Polka Dot. He's probably one of the crackiest names for a villain anyway. But he comes on a massive polka dot.
Really?
Yeah.
Just a massive polka dot.
Yeah. And there's the one who's jumping off a curtain that's not fixed to anything, which I really don't understand.
Which one's that?
I can't remember who it is. I just got yellow on the wrong bit. I can't remember which one it is now. I'd have to look it up. It's one of the new night models have released a whole load of new DC stuff, and one of the new ones. And then there's a really nice Robin variation model. I can't remember. It's got a particular name. It's Robin. But he's jumping over a barrel. But it actually, somebody pointed out on our Patreon stream, he actually looks like he's tripping over the barrel, which is a tad disappointing.
He's just going, hurrah! Ah! Thud.
Right, I'm going to move on to a little bit of...
I can't remember which model it was. Somebody shared it. Oh, it was Bruce Lee. Somebody shared Bruce Lee. It was Ed, I think, had painted Bruce Lee. And the model really... Not his painting of it, but the sculpt, the shape of the face really reminded me of the guy from Horrible Histories. The guy who plays Death in Horrible Histories. Well, he plays lots of roles, because they obviously have multiple roles in Horrible History, but he plays Death as one of the roles. And the angle of the jaw on this guy just looked like him. And I can't get out of my head now. I'm just imagining him doing like really bad Bruce Lee impressions, running around. What the?
Does anybody do a good Bruce Lee impression?
I don't.
Discuss.
Well, I guess Bruce Lee maybe.
I think if you are a person, I don't think it counts as an impression.
Trying to work out what to do with this skin. I might try and lighten it up with something. Maybe just putting a bit more paint into the recesses, and then maybe I'll try and just mix it with a bit of the white, just to make it a bit paler, so the main skin areas are a bit more sickly undertone green rather than dark green.
I'm going to move my chat because I can't actually see your photo too. Not really too. Oh, there he is. So who's going to be queuing up for Cursed City? Did we talk about that last week? I don't remember.
Did a bit. I'm really torn on Cursed City. I can't work out. I'm like...
We're on the fence.
I think we are, aren't we?
We like some of those zombies.
Do like the zombies, although I am in two minds about my mind. There's no way I'm going to complain about them after what we've had to be zombies for the last however many years. I'm certainly not going to complain about them. And there's no way GW were going to release multi-part kits now. Not the way they're going. That's just not what GW do anymore. It's not like the old days where you had a head and a body and legs and you just stuck them on whichever way you wanted, because they just, whilst it gives maximum sort of flexibility, the model does look a bit disjointed at the end of it.
Right.
At least I feel anyway.
So what now? It's all going to be...
They're all like single pose sort of things.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's almost gone full circle.
Yeah, although the old single pose stuff was, crap by comparison.
At the time, it wasn't. Most of it.
No, it wasn't, no. And also single pose back then literally meant, all of the models are the same single pose, whereas now it's just there's like 20 or 30 poses or whatever.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking there's been a And maybe that's it. Maybe they reckon enough different poses. You don't need to. People don't need to make their own poses.
Yeah, well, I sort of agree with that, and they're detailed enough as well that you can certainly, if you really want to, you can chop and change stuff around and make stuff different.
Yeah. I mean, I'm that one area of the hobby I've never got into is converting. I've just never been brave enough. Right.
Are you still on screen, Robin?
Sorry.
Are you not painting?
I'm not. I'm just painting Red Skull, and I'm following Zarastro's PDF tutorial. So I'm just looking about what I should be doing next.
I'm doing my usual thing. It's funny how we paint so differently, but you're following a guide, and I'm just making it up as I go.
Yeah, well, yeah, I do both. But the Red Skull, obviously, there is a guide, so
yeah,
I thought I'd use it. And the Zarastro's painted by it. I mean, I have to say, I've kind of definitely went through a 2 steps backward situation where the stuff he was doing was too tricky, and I messed it up. But actually, I feel like I'm starting to get the hang of it now. The end of this model will be the real. Will really tell me whether I have or not.
You even got a little thumbs up from the man himself when you posted it on Facebook. You can die happy now.
Yeah. Yes, very much so. Right. I haven't done very much Red Skull today. I said last week I find it really difficult to do detailed work on the models and talk.
Yeah. I still haven't quite got my setup optimal, I don't think, so I need to move the camera a little bit at some point, but I'm not going to do that today. Key is then having the space so you can have, so you can actually reach the cable can reach where it's meant to be plugged in at the same time.
Yes. Yeah, I'm quite lucky with my where I'm currently situated. It kind of fits quite nicely, but I did have to run some cables around to make it work.
I need to plan a bit more in advance, I think. Must try harder, Pete.
I could just persuade Mrs. B that I need full bright LED lighting in the conservatory. Then I could paint. We could do painting things in the evening as well. Not sure she wants to live in a football stadium.
I did buy when we first started out and we played some games at my house in the lounge. I did buy some like ultra bright LED bulbs for the lounge, but couldn't leave them in, so I'd have to like change them out each time I wanted. You were coming over and whatnot, and then on a few occasions I'd forget, and then she'd be like, "Go into the dining area, turn the light on," and then she was more blind. Matt says that he and his club are getting a box to split up and get it painted. That's a good idea. Yeah,
that is a good idea. I know John Grant has said he would help us.
Help us, John Grant. You're our only hope.
Very nice of him.
Sorry?
Which is very nice of him.
It is very nice.
He said he would lend us his when he painted them. I think I've said before, I'm just concerned that the gameplay will be a bit pants. But then maybe if you're friends, it won't matter.
No, that's true. I guess half of that is always going to be just the general laugh of it all.
Exactly. Especially if we can actually meet
one day like they did in the BC times.
It'll be like, hey, we can meet. It doesn't matter how good the game is.
It's crap. It doesn't matter. We can laugh. Haha. I'm now trying without any testing whatsoever. I'm just adding a little bit of white to this model, or to the green, the fleshy green. Just going to paint it into the sort of more raised areas. See if I can get it to sort of stick a bit more. Make it pop, as they say.
going back to what you were saying about guides, the entirety of my Ravages setup was entirely ad hoc.
They do look good.
Making it up as I went along.
They definitely do look good.
Thank you.
If only there was a way to be able to get people to be able to show off what they're working on whilst we were streaming. We could put it up on the screen somehow, but sadly don't have the ken of that.
We zoom.
Yeah, it would have to be a Zoom thing, wouldn't it? But then I suspect in that situation I would not be painting whilst zooming.
No. Zoom.
Zoom. We're also talking about maybe doing the painting on Tuesday Night Lives when there's not much to talk about.
Yeah, we've had a few evenings where we haven't had much to talk about.
Yeah.
So,
it doesn't normally stop us. I mean, we can crash on for hours, but
it, I don't know. I don't know whether it's just lockdown malaise. I'm finding it harder and harder to just talk rubbish every week. But painting does give some focus.
Yeah. It gives you a whole new subject to talk about, painting in general, just painting, all that kind of angle.
Yeah, well, I've watered this down too much.
Anybody watching either now live or later on, what do you do if you get mould showing up on your wet palette? I've got a little bit of mould on mine, which is a little annoying. I'm trying to work out the best way of getting rid of it.
Ointment.
Sorry?
Ointment. That's what I do when I've got some mould.
I'm just wondering if I can just stick it in like the washing machine or something like that. The pad. If that would be enough.
Oh, you don't.
Ed is here. Wolfman gets to swap out the pad. I can, but I've only got 2, and I'd rather not just throw it away. I'm wondering if there's something I can do with it. Maybe if I can boil it or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to suggest. I don't want to salute. I'm going to be really picky with my. I'm begging for help, and now I'm going to be incredibly opinionated and picky at the same time. I don't want solutions that are like just buy ionized water or something like that, because I'm not going to go out and buy ionized water for that kind of crap. But if I can do something where I can just put it in the washing machine or stick it in a boiling pot or something like that, that'd be handy to know.
You thought about buying ionized water?
Shut up!
You could boil the water first.
Well, I thought about that. I wondered if that might help as well, but it's like, how do I stop? Yeah, it's with the pad, Ed. It's the pad has a little. It's got a touch of the rot.
Maybe you should stop painting Nurgle.
Ah, that's the problem.
You thought of that?
I'll never stop. Well, they're saying that, I don't remember when I last actually painted anything.
I've used entirely the wrong silver. Never mind, it'll dry and I can do another coat of the right silver. Whoa.
Just painting Golgok's titty. It's my titty. Was it his titty there? It's hard to tell on Nurgle models. Some people suggest dropping in a piece of copper in the bottom. Boiled cooled water. What can I do to get rid of it though, Ed? If it's already there, can I do something to get rid of it?
Scrub it with a brush. Out them spot.
So are you painting today, Ed, or are you just listening in to us not saying anything?
I'm just picking up some paint. It's a very technical exercise. Ed, I'm using the paints you sent me. Your shop.
We didn't send you them. He sold you them.
Oh. Well, he did send them me.
Well, yes.
Yes, that I bought from you in your wonderful shop.
Wonderful shop.
Now, I've done this, mixed this up on my dry palette, and I've just realised I wanted to do it on my wet palette. Never mind. Ed, I'm using the wet palette. That's the other thing, you've only just joined it. I'm using the wet palette today. A little bit.
I'm tempting to use mine more.
Sorry?
So I'm tempting to use mine more. Of course, it's got the rot though, so.
My cloth I normally use for dragging paint off isn't here, so I keep using my hand.
Definitely finding I'm just sort of getting a bit of brown and then going, oh, I'll just put a bit of brown and just mix a bit of green with it and then slap that on. But you can do that with Nurgle. It doesn't really make much difference.
Almost part of their raison d'etre, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
I'd be green and brown, Ivy.
Yeah. It's kind of what I do. It's my thing. It's what I like.
Bit of pus.
Yeah. Love a bit of pus.
Green and brown pus. Maybe a bit yellow if you're really adventurous.
Ooh, a bit yellow. Oh, maybe I should do that on his skin. If I get a bit yellow.
Bleach. All best of bleach. And black mould around the windows.
Bleach. What do I do? Just soak the thing in bleach? Do we think?
Yeah. Don't put it in your eyes.
Ah, see, that's where I'm going wrong.
Free tip for you.
Pro tip that. Right, what am I doing?
I may be giving away here that I'm a disgusting housekeeper, but we do have bleach.
Yeah.
Bleach, my mum and that kind of generation used to bleach stuff like all the time.
Religiously.
Yeah. And I need more bleach. Oh, I'm painting off camera. Oh, I need more bleach. I need more bleach.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I unless there's like a serious cleaning issue, or my wet pallet's got black mold or something like that, I barely use bleach.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I use it like cleaning the loo, obviously.
Well, we have we have loo cleaner, which I guess is bleach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess we do use it for that, but it's not like a neat bottle of bleach.
Yeah. We have like a thingy of toilet duck stuff, you know, that goes around the loo, but that's kind of like it.
Yes.
Can't believe we're talking about cleaning toilets and bleach now. Have we run out of conversation already?
The age of experience, isn't it? We've moved to method products. Paint Battle Roll hates bleach. He's moved to method products. What's that? Is that like method acting? Toilet being clean.
The only problem with Nurgle models is sometimes you're sitting there painting a bit and you're like, is that part of this distended jaw, or is that part of their flabby rotting neck, or is that something else? And then you realise it doesn't matter. So you just whack whatever on. I'm feeling a bit guilty because now obviously the big boy who I started last week is still sitting over there in parts and part painted, and I should probably do something about that.
By myself.
Don't wanna be all by myself. Also meant to take Golgok apart before I started painting him, so now I'm just, because I haven't got the time or the patience, I'm just going to start slapping paint on, or I have started slapping paint on just wherever I can get it.
Don't have the time, the patience, or the inclination.
Yeah, pretty much.
The biggest problem I have, I know lots of people use sub-assemblies, and I do sometimes. I find that when I come to assemble them, they're either tricky to fit, or they don't quite line up, and then you can't fill the hole. If you see what I mean. If you sub-assembly something and then you go to put it on, and it doesn't quite fit properly, what do you do then? I know you can drop it before I know there's all that, but things don't always fit like they should.
I find whenever I do it, I tend to put it all, assemble it first without gluing it where I can.
Yeah.
And then I spray it first like that. So then I know that any areas that haven't got any spray paint on them afterwards, I don't need to even look at. And generally, then if I don't paint the areas that aren't covered in spray, then those areas are still, as it were, they're untouched.
Yeah. Well, some of the danger of getting into some problematic vocabulary. Some of the fits are really tight. Then I find the Ravagers. I took them off the bases to paint them better, and then I pushed the pegs back in the base when I finished, and felt like I was risking rubbing the paint off. So I was pushing the model hard into the hole.
Ooh, jamming the rod in the tight hole.
It's amazing how
Smutty.
How hobby conversation can very quickly turn dodgy.
I think quite often in that situation I would just remove the peg.
Right. Okay.
And then just sort of, especially with the push fit stuff, like with the things we've got here, they just work so well. They fit just perfectly, even without the peg. And if you're going to use glue anyway, you don't need the peg.
No, I see what you're saying. Maybe
Sure,
I should do that. Maybe I'll up my game for the lizards.
Lizards have the problem that they're quite thin.
Right.
So you might have the problem there that it's,
They don't. Oh well, I'll see.
Yeah. So I'm wasting time painting the underside of this loincloth that's never going to be seen. Why am I doing this? Stop it, Pete. Stop it.
I'm addicted to object source lighting at the moment, so I'm just doing wheelbarrows. Those stingers nearby. Well, not stingers. Carrying stingers. Those orcs are nearby.
Roxanne!
I might have overdone it.
You don't need to put on a red light.
Having underdone it, I think I might have overdone it now. See what it's like when it dries.
That's one of the problems, isn't it? It's you can start to do these things and then think, oh, I've ruined it, it's too strong or whatever, and then it dries and you're like, wait a minute, where's the paint gone?
Yeah, I've done that numerous times. My Captain Marvel model was case in point with that. I did it. I thought, oh God, this is awful. And then when it dried, it wasn't great, but it was. I was ready to reach for the Milan Dettol bottle.
The Milan mix.
When it dried, it actually wasn't too bad. It's so long since I've painted the base coats of this Berrymore model. I can't actually remember what colour that was underneath. I don't think it's the one I was about to highlight it. I'm looking at my...
Gavin Scott's listening whilst he's glossing the house, so he's painting too. That counts.
Glossing into house. Get the detail brush out for the glossing.
Oh,
did
God.
Did you see that they posted the manufacturer's suggestions for cleaning the phone in the chat?
Did he?
Yeah.
Missed that. I'm just having a panic because I've accidentally put a massive splodge into the eye of the model, so I'm trying to wash it all off again before it gets all over it. I think I've managed to avoid it. This is, so what did he put? Red Grass Games advice, how can I clean my foam pad? The foam has naturally mould resistant. My arse. You don't need to add any agent or cleaning product to avoid mildew or mould or bad smell. Also my arse. Clean the foam from pad time to time with soap. What's that mean? Like hand soap? Can I use hand soap, do you think?
Laundry detergent?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll try that. I'm going to do this eye, but I'm not going to try and get it done on the camera.
Use that quite a lot, laundry detergent. Especially when you have young children.
Yeah, it's true.
Laundry detergent on a carpet. It's perfect for any organic stains.
And kids are great at organic stains. Completely messed his eye up now. I'm going to go over that again with the green. Oh, I hate trying to do eyes. Washing up liquid, Ed says. Well, I'll give that a try, Ed. See what it's like.
Washing up liquid, that's definitely soap.
Yeah. Could you just use hand soap, maybe?
They're all pretty much the same thing, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a good point. Where's the time? Oh, it's 10 to 1 already. I
know, time flies when you're painting.
I don't feel like I've achieved very much. It's always quite depressing. I always feel like I start painting and I don't really achieve very much.
I know what you mean. I do my half an hour painting a day. I have to say, I've drifted up slightly because I'm enjoying it so much at the moment. But half an hour.
Oh no.
especially if you're following a Zoroastrian recipe, it doesn't actually doesn't give you much time.
I ordered a Plague Bearer flesh. I've already got one.
Oh no!
Anyone needs to play?
Club.
If anyone needs a Plague Bearer flesh, just give me a shout. Oh no!
I ordered a paint the other day, and it was particularly recommended, or Zoroastrian had used it. Can't remember what it was now, but anyway, they changed the name of it, and I didn't notice. So when I googled it, it said it was what the paint was, and then in the brackets it said, but it said in brackets used to be. Look, I thought I just saw that, and it came, and I already had it. It was olive filled draft. I can't remember what it used to be, yeah, it's like I've already got one of these, and it's not like you use them ridiculously quickly. No. Some of them, like if you bought an extra null on or something, you'd probably be all
right. I realised that 2 of the paints I bought I actually already own.
2 of them?
2 of them.
Oh no, which was the other one?
Space Wolf Grey.
Oh, okay.
So I feel...
I own both of those, so I can't buy them off you.
Damn it.
I think I've got Plague Bearer anyway, because we split our original box, didn't we?
We did. I might have taken the Plague Bearer, possibly, so... If you haven't got it, you're more than welcome to mine.
Okay.
Well, that's irritating. Oh well, can't be helped. Just tidying up some of the paint where I got yellow before, so I can then start going over it with another paint at a later point. I kept thinking, I did think to start with when we started this series, I thought, I'll have a model and I'll just paint it on the episodes and then, you know, I'll see how that goes. But I realised that would be a very silly idea because then I would just have this, I'd be painting the same model in a month's time.
You've changed, you're not doing Golgok.
I know, I was just doing a little bit of morgok. Golgok, morgok, less gok.
No, you just it's just the goks we're after.
All the goks, yep. Gok one's next. So
I was very close to making that joke myself.
I'm just going to do a very small amount of red on this, and I think it will be time for us to have to call it a day very shortly.
Wow. That's
what I should actually be doing, really, if I'm honest with myself, is I should finish painting those Blitzbowl teams. Because I'm painting models here that we already have painted models for on the channel. So...
It's true. That's true.
Shouldn't be doing this.
Fuck your ideas up.
I buck my ideas up constantly.
Buck.
Oh, no, I see where I'm going wrong again in life.
Another idea up by Pete Copper.
I can buck things up without even trying. In fact, it seems to help if I don't.
We don't try.
Yeah. They get properly bucked up then.
Matt Collins has 5 parts of a Athenian camoshade. So he forgot.
Oops.
The Kickstarter for the RGG palette version 2 is coming soon.
I saw that.
A reusable washable paper, a new reusable washable paper. Interesting.
How does that work?
I don't really feel like the paper's the thing, because baking parchment at the end of the day isn't difficult to get hold of, is it?
Yeah. I definitely don't see me going for that.
I might see if we, because they've just what's the word? Employed a new community manager.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I'll see whether they want to team up and do a giveaway.
Ooh.
I'll have to ask them nicely.
Maybe we'll get them to do the sending though.
Yes. Yeah.
One of our winners who won the when we did our painting thing before, who won some of the dice and models, they had to pay €40 import because they were in Belgium. €40. I don't think the things were even worth €40. I mean, you couldn't buy them, so I guess that in that respect they were worth €40. But just, good lord, world's gone mad. Right, I think I'm going to take that quick win, and I think it's probably time we call it there.
Oh.
Nearly 1 o'clock.
I'll paint it off camera. Doing a bit of cloak highlighting.
Apologies again all if any of our painting or getting stuff on screen stuff wasn't quite up to snuff. We are still working on it, but do shout if you have any tips or tricks on that front, and I shall try using some soap ed and see how I get on with those.
I think I'd have to put like a string up to stop me from going, like a net or something, to stop me straying too far. The thing is, it's to do with comfort as much as anything else. You get uncomfortable painting in the same position. You sort of then stretch my arms out, and then you realise you stretch your arms out. It's more comfortable. Nobody can see what you're painting anymore.
Yeah, that is a big problem. Or you just you just reach to get a little bit more paint or something like that, and your hand just drifts as you do so.
Come back to not the same place.
Yeah. I've lost my paint thing, my paintbrush protector, bristle protector thingy.
Goes back on.
What is?
Ooh, sorry.
I've lost my paint bristle protector thing.
You put those back on. I never put those on.
Yeah, every time.
No, I never put those on because I read a long time ago in White Dwarf that you shouldn't put them back on because they might trap hairs.
Yeah, it can get a bit painful if you trap a hair.
Yeah,
but
exactly. I hate it. So I've never ever put them back on ever. That was like in White Dwarf. I'm probably talking like 47. So it was probably 30 years ago. No, more than that. Probably 35 years ago.
Problem I've got is where I store them. They're very liable to get bristles are very liable to get sort of squashed up.
Right. Okay. I do occasionally have that problem where I haven't noticed. I've bunched the bottom of a brush into something. You come back and it's all squished.
Yeah. Annoying. Although I find as long as you're careful when you put the thing on, it's all right. There you go. I found a separate one. I'll just use one of the other ones. For one of the brushes I care not about anymore.
Put a sticker down where the end of your shot is. They'd suggested.
A what? A sticker down? Yeah, could do.
I probably could do that. Though I think where Pete has put the end of my shot is different to where I think it is, which is also not helping.
Could try and paint nearer the table, and then you don't move your fingers around quite so much. Maybe I could try and do it there, perhaps. Maybe there next time would work a bit better.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in.
Yes, thank you for listening to our random ramblings and watching our terrible paintings. And anybody who is painting, do enjoy the rest of your day. Obviously, anybody who isn't, do enjoy the rest of your day too. But
everybody, enjoy the rest of your day. After I do, leave us a comment. Let us know what you want to see. Next week we will be back and we will have the lizard men in hand.
Yep.
And we will paint those.
Might already have them in hand. Woo!
We'll be painting those, and we'll hopefully, I don't know, we'll have to do a different one each, I think, Pete. We won't do the same one.
Yeah, we'll do different ones. And
I'm going to paint my chameleon last.
I might try and whack that one out first, just because I'm going to do greens and stuff on it. But we'll see how I get on. I
think I might be inspired to do other things. Whereas if I paint in verse, I'll probably paint in green.
Yeah.
But if I leave until the end, inspiration might strike.
Yep.
And he'll be inspired.
Okay, everybody. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining us. And if you're watching this later on, catching us up, do check us out. We're trying to do this every Friday lunchtime. Have a little bit of a break on your Fridays. And I realised we had loads of questions that got asked, I think, whilst we were doing stuff. And I don't know. Just Joe Bigerman was talking about contrast paints. I did order some.
Contrast paint. Pete's using contrast paint for sure.
Yes, I'm using contrast. And I ordered accidentally a couple of extra pots. Hopefully everybody can come along, join us next time for a bit more painting. We'll be doing the lizards, like Robin says, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.